Hello, everyone. Glad to see you here. And today is day 3 of the day. I gotta look at my notes. I'm sorry. I get so excited about this. It's got me all a dither, Anyway, day 3 of the 14-day online crew video challenge. I got some notes down here, so just to keep me on track. Anyway, and that challenge is with Helen Martin. So today, our topic is to be something about personal development and to give some tips around that. Well, personal development is something that I really, really like to get into, and especially talking about mindset and things that our mind actually it can make us or it can break us, and if we allow it to, we can make changes. We can help ourselves to be better at whatever it is that we want to do. We just have to know that we can do that and learn how to do it. And mind things can be complicated and it can be simple. It can be as simple as telling yourself every day, I'm a winner. I'm a winner, and seeing yourself in your mind's eye a winner, whatever that looks like to you. So before I keep going and get further into my notes, I want to go on and I have a few tips for you, but I want to go on and introduce myself. So my name is Cherie Woodard, and I'm sorry, I help entrepreneurs and business builders to be able to come online, use the power of social media, and get prospects, leads, and sales in their business. And I do that in a variety of ways. I use attraction marketing, video marketing, branding, as well as lead generation, and other updated modern strategies, tips that can help you. So that is what I do. And please feel free. I'm just going to say this now because the nervousness is kind of going away, but it kind of pops back up. But I got it covered this time. So what I want to tell you is, if you find anything that I'm talking about today, and I hope you will find it valuable, helpful, lifting, something that you might want to look into, and you want to go a little bit deeper, you can always direct message me. So don't worry about, that, oh, I didn't get what she said, or I didn't quite understand. You can always rewatch the video, or those of you that maybe aren't able to be here live with me, you can also, do just do a replay and watch the video and get out of it whatever it is that's going to help you. And so basically, that is all I want to say about that. So direct message me. My name, I just gave it to you, and it's on the screen, so I won't say it again. But let's move on. So I like to help people to find their way out of a negative mindset, because I lived in a negative mindset and I didn't really know it, because of the people that I was around. And that's just one of those things. The people that you hang around the most, the 5 people we say, but the people that you hang around the most, it could be 2 or 3 people, whatever, but we just kind of round it off to 5. Those 5 people will determine how you are, because you're one person. And if you don't have strong opinions about certain things, about how you want to live your life, how you have all these aspirations that you want to accomplish, these things that you want to have in your life, how you want to live your life. And if they're saying, well, you got a job, you don't need to start a business, yada yada, and you go, well, yeah, you're right, I do. At least this way I get a paycheck. They've turned you from entrepreneur mindset to where because you were thinking about, maybe starting your own business or trying to get into that area of entrepreneurship, and they just shut you down, and you may not even have realized it. And so you're just going along every day, not really happy about what you're doing, maybe okay with what you're doing, but knowing that it won't be something that you can do forever. So you need to look at what are you going to do long term. So I just think it's important that we be aware of what is going on in our heads. And that is my first tip. We need to be self aware. We need to understand what's going on with us. We need to evaluate ourselves and see, what's going on, especially if you're feeling kind of off. And some people don't even realize that they're feeling off because they don't know what their norm is. And, they just, go about day by day. Well, it took me a while to learn this myself. So I decided to become more self aware as I continued to watch the people that I was around. And primarily the people that I was around way back in the day in my 20s, everybody was, working and, had an apartment and maybe a car and, and they just hung out, and there was no, no wanting to go further, no wanting to do anything else. But I still had in the back of my mind the things that I went to college for. I went to college so that I could take care of my mom. I went to college, and this is one thing that you probably won't know about me, is that my first major was pre-med. And I was known as, as I had finally that God stopped the bullying, then I got to where people thought I was real egghead and real smart, and so then they were like, "Oh, you could become a scientist or a doctor or something like that," And so then, and that's what I had in my head. So I still had that in the back of my head, even those years after I had dropped out of college, but that's a long story, so we won't go there. But I ended up going back to school. And I went back to school because of not only the people that I was hanging around, they weren't doing anything. I knew I wanted better. And the nurses that I worked around when I was an emergency medical technician, I worked around some awesome, awesome nurses. And I just thought, this is what I want to do with the rest of my life. I want to take care of people and I want to be as sharp and awesome as these nurses in the ER that I work with. It was just, and so there it was set. And as I did that, I I don't know, it changed how I saw things, it changed how I wanted to be, it changed what I wanted to be, and then I started asking people, and I think it's, yeah, well before I had, become a nurse, but I started asking people that I worked around, "What do you think about me?" And I asked them because I respected them and I cared about their opinion because I had been working there for almost, I think, in the ER for almost 7 years. So it was just one of those things with I wanted to know what they really truly thought of me. And I wanted them to be able to do that, say that, tell me whatever that was, so that then I could take that information and then if I needed to make changes, make changes. If I didn't, keep going where I was and just keep moving up, though, keep growing, keep, teaching myself to be a better person. And so I got their information, and they said that I was one of those people that seemed like I had like a really big chip on my shoulder, but that, I was nice enough, after noon. But before noon, nobody really talked to me because it seemed like I had an attitude, even though they said you're a really good worker, but you just kind of have, a problem in the mornings, and then after 12 you're kind of mellow. So I mean, I wanted to change that. So I set about to do that, and I didn't really know how. We didn't have computers back in the day to just kind of look at, and go on Google and find some, how do I change myself from a negative to a positive type person. So it took a while, but okay, let's see. I'm talking too long. Let me just, I don't want to bend your ear here forever, but I went through and changed myself by reading books and watching people that I admired and that I cared for and seeing how they did things and, just kind of, decided who it was that I wanted to be and who it was that I did not want to be. So, being self-aware, I had some self-awareness. I knew something was off, but I wasn't sure, so I reached out and asked, and, that helped me get started on my journey of becoming a positive person, and those 2 books were Jonathan Livingston Seagull and, The Power of Positive Thinking by Norman Vincent Peale. They helped me so much, and then, of course, my Bible. So then after that, starting to change myself, I've just continued to do that. And I was in my 20s when I started, and I just continued to keep it going because, I wanted to continue to be a better person. I didn't want to be the person who sat and gossiped. And, eventually I got out of that. And, because a lot of people, that's what they do. You sit around and then, oh, her, oh, yeah, I don't really like her for whatever reason. Let her live. Live and let live. So let me go here. Let's see. Being self-aware is really important. And I'm trying to cut down my list because I'm talking a lot. And then the other thing to do is positive affirmations are what I used as well, and I didn't know they were positive affirmations back then, but reading my Bible, then I would tell myself, you are what God wants you to be, and you will be that, and you are gonna, be able to help people and you're gonna be able to, do all those things that you wanted to do way back in the day when you were in college. You can still do that. It's okay. And so that positive affirmations, I even now I say them to myself. I have a tendency when I'm kind of off key to not say them as much, but that's when I really need to say them more to pull myself back up from the brink. And so that's number two. And these are not in any particular order, but that's really important. And the other thing is to remember in my being self-aware and doing my positive affirmations, remember that my thoughts and then my words make my reality. So I have learned over the past few years to stop saying things like, I can't do this, or I couldn't possibly do that, because what you tell yourself is what you actually do, because your brain then goes to make sure that you do what it is that you say. If you say you can't do this, then your brain it says, okay, then you can't do this, and so then you just it's confirmed, and you don't even realize what's happening. So remember, your thoughts are, need to be watched, need to be carefully thought out as you're thinking. As you're thinking things, just take a look at what you're thinking. Give yourself a minute or less or more, and just give yourself some time to think and see what those thoughts are saying. If they're negative thoughts, then you need to get rid of them. And I'm sorry, I don't mean to preach. I suggest, let me change it. I suggest you get rid of them. It's up to you what you want to do with yourself and your life and what have you. I'm just giving you some of my experiences and some of the tips of things that I've used and some of the things that I still, when I do my lives that I like to let people know about. And I just, as I continue to read and do trainings and go to trainings and workshops and conferences virtually, I still can see that there's so much more to thoughts and our minds and our mindset than I ever had any idea of. And that people were so aware of it even back in the day. Like I can't remember whenever Napoleon Hill wrote Think and Grow Rich. Because when I started reading that book, it was talking about Think and Grow Rich, and he talked about some examples, and he gave some, yeah, and of course, I bought Audible because, I need to grow into more of a reader, but I wanted to read the book, so I thought, "Okay, I'll just listen to it." But then I got all this stuff I wanna write down, I wanna mark down, and it talks too fast, I have to keep starting it over, and I'll never finish the book. But I'm gonna finish it, I'm just gonna have to buy the book, and that way I can mark in it and put, "Yeah, these 6 steps, these are 6 things that I need to do, I need to, work on," or whatever. So hopefully, this information was helpful for you. I'm really sorry this went really long, um, but just remember your mindset is so important, and it's better to have a positive mindset, a positive thought process, positive affirmation, positive things to help lift you and keep you lifted. And as long as you are self aware and you can pull yourself up out of that funk or up out of whatever it is that you every now and we all drop into, hopefully this helped. So that is it. If you have any questions or you need to ask me anything about this, direct message me and we can go from there. So I'm going to go on and get off here, and I will be doing my day 4 here on my fan page or my business page, fan page slash business page. And then Friday, I will be going back over to my personal profile and do whatever is required for that day. But day 4 will be here at noon. So talk soon. Take care. I'm sorry if this was really long, but I hope that you got value out of it. I really hope that it was helpful for you and it gave you something to think about. Talk soon. Bye now.